Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and we are going to be doing just a fun, quick, little whimsical kind of craft. And we're going to be doing it using some little pieces of driftwood and some rocks, and I'm just lucky to live close to the shores of Lake Ontario, so I just go and pick stuff up there that I can use in some of my crafts. To start with, we're going to take a couple of boards. So this is just a cedar plank that I thrifted. So a lot of times people get these to be able to do cedar plank barbecuing with, don't know what to do with them, and then they end up donating the whole pack. And I grab them because they make perfect signs. They're a great size, nice and lightweight. We're gonna use that. And then I happen to thrift this little tiny paddle, which again, I don't know much that you would use it for in the kitchen, maybe so much as I love them for doing little decor things and signs, and I just think they're fun. So what we're gonna do with these very quickly is, I don't wanna do lots to them, but I just want a little bit of color. We're gonna be mounting our stones and our sticks to these, and I just want a little bit of a contrast. So I am just taking an all-in-one paint. So I'm using Casement by Fusion, and I'm going to offload it, and I'm just going to dry brush it. And I'm going to do the same treatment on both. And the amount of white that you get on there, the amount of color that you get on there, is just really driven by how much you go over it. I would rather build up the amount of color, and this one is great because it's a little bit rough, but I'd rather build up the color slowly by doing multiple passes than try to get one look that works for me right off the get-go. So I'm gonna get both these boards done and off to the side drying, because the next step of painting, requires some acrylic paints, and I gotta go dig those out. Okay, to start, all that we are going to be doing is decide which side of the rock you want to face up and which side face down, because I don't have to necessarily paint the backs of these because we're going to be attaching them onto our wood backing, but I do need to paint the front. And so what we're looking at doing is we're doing birds and we're doing cats. And so to start, you just need to decide on your base color, right? So what color is your cat going to be? I have 3 big cats that I want for my big board. So I think I'm going to do one white cat. And just get them coated from the front. We have to add the details after this has dried. So right now you're just looking at getting everything with just a nice solid base coat to start. So I'm gonna get mine done and dried, and then I'll pull you in overhead for when we start looking at adding some of the detail elements. Once base coat on our stones, our rocks, is dry, we can add in any kind of details to the coat that we want to. We're going to be adding in more details to the cats themselves or the birds, but anything that, let's say here, maybe we wanted to have just some chocolate stripes. Then we paint those in. We're going to come in and we're going to add a lot of the details to these little figures with marker. But I mean, you could even do this part with marker if you want to. If you've got some you know, permanent markers. You could just, in colors, you could add this with that. That's okay. Okay, on some of them, we can just draw a little face on, eyes and things. For some, we're gonna need to add in, you know, in our black guys here, little blackbirds. We're gonna need to add in our eyes. Now, don't worry about, like in this instance, don't worry about the edging of it, making it perfect, because we can use our black marker afterward to be able to smooth out those edges, make them look a little better. And for some of these, I may have to go and do a second coat because it's just not going to show up on its own. And here, I just want to do a little bit of a beak shape. So you can see that yellow over the black isn't very concentrated. But I'll let that dry a bit. And then I'll go back in and add some more. For our cats with the dark background, really, I'm just probably looking at adding in eyes. So we could do eyes that are just dots, or in this instance, because I want to have a couple of them, I'm going to put a bird in the corner. So I want to have a couple of them that are checking out the bird. So I can't finish the eyes until the cat has had a chance, until the white eyes, sorry, have had a chance to dry. But I can go in and I can do some of the detailing. The little nose is kind of like a triangle. Let's give him a different expression. And then we'll do a couple of little dots. And we'll just have some of the whiskers shooting out of there. And then just little legs. And I'm not looking to be real fussy over this. I'm just looking to give them some nice basic little legs and feet. So as soon as that white's dry, I can clean up those eyes a little bit, and I can add in the dots. I'm going to want him looking up to the left. This is a little bluebird, so it also needs to have the first coat of its beak. Yellow marker just didn't show. So a finer marker, once these are really dry, can help you be able to straighten up and kind of clean up some of your lines a little bit. So, you know, if the painting was a little messy, you get to fix it. Just make it look a little cleaner. Once our rocks are painted up, now it's time to create our little vignette, our little picture. So the first thing that I want to do is just kind of get an idea of where I want my sticks to sit. So I have 2 sticks that I want to use for this. And I'm just going to kind of hot glue them in place. All right, that looks good. And this one maybe kind of up and around here-ish. And then we need to position our rocks. So I'm just kind of putting them in place, getting an idea of where I'm going to place them. Okay, and then big whack of glue for each of those. And we're going to get them glued in place. Now these aren't finished yet because they have a couple of missing elements. So you've probably noticed that our cats are missing ears and a tail, and our little bird is missing a beak. And this is where we get to now, based on where they're positioned, maybe this is easier for me, upside down, is to draw in their ears. So this guy is cool to have some black ones. And potentially a black tail. So I can do that with my black marker. But those are the finishing touches, is to add in all those little missing elements, you know, and maybe a couple of little leaves hanging down from some of our branches. You can do this with paint, you can do it with your markers, whatever's easiest for you. Okay, let's take a quick look at these finished little masterpieces here. So here's my little cats and the little bird in a tree. And then here's my little one, which was just some little birds. So one kind of sitting on the branch and a couple of big crows there. You know, these are just kind of fun and a little bit whimsical and kind of cute. I mean, if you're doing them with children, then let their imaginations go. I mean, the rocks could become monsters. They could attach them all to make a big caterpillar. You could get a weird shaped one that becomes an alligator. There's just no limit in terms of where their imagination takes them and the worlds that they can create. They can draw in a jungle in behind. They can have the sky and the river and, you know, whatever they want to do. I think that they're just fun. They're kind of cute. They're sweet. And just, you know what? Sticks and stones. Pretty inexpensive little craft. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. I always look forward to hearing your thoughts, your comments, other suggestions for me and for other people. That's always a plus too. You know, I didn't agonize over these obviously, but as you do more, I think you could get a little bit more involved with patterning if you wanted, but you know what? It's also good just keeping it simple. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one as always. And until then, take care.